Hey, what's up? I'm Ray Green, and welcome to Tactical Tuesday, where I'm going to drop one tactical client acquisition tip every single week. All right. Now, this week, I'm going to talk about marketing campaign that I just did. So, I just, with one message that I shared on social media and my email list, in about 48 hours, I booked 14 qualified calls and discovery calls, sales calls. I filled the first cohort of my coaching program for solopreneurs. I took in about $12,000 in cash and I started the wait list for our next cohort next month. As but I guess as one of my first marketing campaigns, I will tell you this. I also screwed a few things up uh, because that's what you do the first time you do something. So I actually broke down that campaign and analyzed it. And I went through what worked, what didn't, and what I'm going to talk through is basically a summary of that process and what I found. And I'm going to offer you a 5-step process to nail this campaign next time around. It's a checklist for me. It's a process for me. And now you can have it too. Kind of learn from my mistakes. So the first thing when I broke this down is on the what worked part, I'll say the first step is creating a Godfather offer. All right. Now, a Godfather offer, and I'm borrowing the term Godfather from my friend and one of the best marketers I know, Robin Robbins at Technology Marketing Toolkit. And maybe it's because I spent the last week at her event that was themed the God Marketer, or maybe it's because while I was there, I got to meet Sammy the Bull Gravano. That was kind of cool. But either way, the first step in executing a really successful campaign is going to be creating an offer for prospects that they can't refuse. All right. Mine was for solopreneurs, executive freelancers, and it was this. I will help you build a client acquisition system. I will build it with you for the next 4 months with an investment of just 3,800 bucks. All right. Two people on the call literally said, man, this is a no-brainer, right? Well, yeah, if you win one client from this program and it's going to be ROI several times over. Okay. Now that was a beta launch and so the price was intentionally low, right? It was designed that price will never be seen again, but it was designed to be tough to say no to. Okay. Like if you want to create a Godfather offer, here are 3 things that you've got. One is a clearly, narrowly defined audience and target market of who you're sending it to, who you're offering it to. Okay. The second is a really clear problem that you're solving for them, not 17 problems, a really clear problem that you're solving for them. And third is a price that is dwarfed by the outcome that you're delivering. The not necessarily the amount of work or effort that you're putting into this specific thing. What's the outcome? What's the transformation that you're delivering? And you want whatever the value of that is to dwarf the price that you're charging. Okay. So that's step 1, creating a Godfather offer. Step 2 is writing a compelling sales letter. All right. Now, when you've built your Godfather offer, the next step is positioning it to prospects with a really good, a really compelling sales letter. I'll share a link below of the post that I used on LinkedIn. While you look at it, feel free to give it a like or something while you're there. But you'll notice in this post, it's not packed with a bunch of features. It's not packed with a bunch of details, and that's because sales letters should be written to help you understand the outcome or help prospects understand the outcome that they're going to get, not necessarily how they're going to get it. Okay. Now that's the key to a really good sales letter. Now, there are 4 things that I would say if you want to create a really compelling sales letter, make sure you do these 4 things. One is you want a scroll stopping headline or picture, something that is going to make people as they're going through the feed, they're going through their inbox. You want something that's going to make them open it or at least stop scrolling and check it out. Okay. The second thing is you want to pique their interest and their curiosity, not squash it. There's a temptation a lot of times to want to over explain the offer and, think through the questions that they're going to have about it. And that's the opposite approach is what you want to aim for. You actually want to pique their curiosity and not kill it. Right. Third thing is you're looking to sell the appointment in your sales letter, not the entire solution. Right? Like you're not trying to explain everything that somebody's going to get. What you're trying to do is you're trying to sell the appointment. So look at it from that standpoint, and that's what the copy is going to be doing. And then fourth, I would say is you want an unmistakably clear call to action, right? You want when people get to the bottom, if you've hooked them with the headline, they've made it all the way through. Chances are they're in your audience. Otherwise, they wouldn't read a sales letter. They get to the end. You want to make it really clear what they need to do next. All right. Third step, create a master list of lists. And this is one that's actually from my lessons. This is from my learnings. This is something that I screwed up. I didn't do it, and it was a mistake. So before you launch your marketing campaign, take inventory of the different lists that you have to promote to, and get them organized, get them in one place. Trust me, you have more than you think. I planned on blasting my message out on LinkedIn, and I generated over 1.2 million views on content a year there. So it makes sense that that's going to be the primary audience that I go to. All right, and that's what I did. And I overlooked, and this is really embarrassing actually, I overlooked an obvious source of leads, which were people that have downloaded my lead magnets in the past. But it was an oversight, it was a script, and it was just a failure in the process of not getting it organized. And the next day, my buddy asked about, how'd the email response go or something that day. And I felt really dumb saying, shit, I haven't blasted out my email yet. And so actually I took his advice. I sent the email, and I took his advice on the subject line, and it just said, I made a bonehead mistake, and had the oh shit emoji, and said, here's what you missed. And if you're interested, go ahead and reply back. And I think 5 or 6 of those appointments were from that email. Okay. If you want to create a master list of lists, I would say don't overlook these 3 areas. One is your personal social media profiles. Even Facebook. People may not necessarily buy, but they can support you, right? So don't overlook your personal social media profiles where you're not usually promoting. The second is a personal email list. Ask people to forward it to anyone that it may be applicable to. If it's not, chances are the people in your email list, and whether they're qualified or not. But there's nothing wrong. Send it out and ask people to support it there too. Ask them to forward it to somebody that it may be applicable to. And then the third thing here is people, the list is people that have engaged in any of your content. If you're posting content on LinkedIn or Facebook or anywhere else, if people are engaging with that, those are people that are interested in your message. So you can go back to previous posts and just, send somebody a direct message, say, hey, I want to make sure that you saw this, or what have you. So a few areas not to overlook. The fourth step is coordinate your launch and then get support for it before you launch it. Right. So for me, I scheduled the launch of the coaching program of the first cohort was April 25th. And I scheduled the 13th of April as the date that I'm going to launch this campaign. And I knew that I would get some momentum announcing it on LinkedIn, but I wanted to maximize the momentum from that campaign. So I asked for a little help from my friends. I sent out a message to probably 10 people, and asked them for help. And it said, hey, friend, like whoever it was, write in and ask for your help. Should take literally 1 minute of your time if you're able to. This Wednesday, I'm going to be launching my coaching program for solopreneurs, executive freelancers. It's designed to help them create what I call vision founder fit, identify a good target market, set up marketing systems, create a sales process. And I'm looking for 3 to 5 people on Wednesday to join. And I'm going to announce it in a post. I'm asking if you'd be kind enough to support that post on Wednesday with a like or a quick comment. It would help a lot. Definitely appreciate it. Muchas gracias in advance. And so I sent that out and asked people for help. Everyone that I sent it to responded and said, yes, absolutely. And I wanted to make it really easy for everyone to help me. So I actually sent on the morning of, I sent another post or another message that said, Here's a link to the post. Really appreciate your support on this, and just make it super easy. Click and they can like it, they can comment on it, they can engage it. That gets you some support. That helps boost the social media posts because it tells the algorithm, hey, people are engaging with this. Let us share it with more people. And the other thing that it does is it helps you get just a little bit of social proof, right? That if somebody's seeing your name for the first time, getting a little bit of social proof because you've got other people in there that have liked it or that have commented on it. If if you want to enlist people to support your launch, here's a few tips. One is I'd get a written distribution plan for launch day. All right. I'd have it mapped out and ready to go. I would write it out and have it planned more thoroughly than I did the last time. Second one is ask people for help rather than just assuming that they're gonna do it. I some of the people that I sent it to are friends of mine, and yeah, I hoped that they would do that, but they have jobs, they have businesses, they have lives too. So ask for help. Don't be a douche. And just assume people are gonna help you because you care more about this than anybody else. And third is make it really easy for them. Like the follow-up message where I included it with a link so that it's one click and they're done. Make it easy for people if they're helping you out. Okay. Now, fifth step is prepare yourself and your calendar to sell. And I was underprepared. I did prepare, but I was underprepared, and this was also a mistake. So marketing campaigns aren't always going to land, right? Depending on the quality of your offer, the clarity of your market, how much reach you have with your audience and your email list, your marketing assets, whatever it is. You might hear crickets, and then you also might get slammed with activity. And you want to make sure that you're prepared like if this thing catches fire, you want to make sure that your schedule is cleared. And I would say for a few days, be ready to sell when it lands. All right. Otherwise, you're going to be missing critical opportunities. And I would say there are a few things that I would do to get really ultra prepared. All right. The first one is I'd create a really simple follow-up process that you can use for each inquiry that comes in. So template it as much as possible and make sure that you're responding to everybody. If it's like a hand raiser post where you're asking people to DM you or comment or something like that, make sure that you have something that makes it easy and efficient for you to reply to everyone. Okay. Second thing is overestimate the amount of time that you're going to need for this. And I launched mine on a Wednesday, which basically left Thursday and Friday for people to book and then into next week. And I thought that was sufficient time. Well, I was traveling the following week for a client. So my calendar was blocked. So people booked the following week. So 2 days wasn't enough because it was a 45-minute free strategy session that people booked. That got filled up really quickly. And now this week, actually, I have 11 more of those calls, even though that cohort's already full. So I didn't give myself enough time I didn't clear my schedule for enough time. Okay. So just, I would say err on the side of caution and make sure you've got enough time, and not enough. All right. And then the third one is have a sales process to follow. If you're running a discovery call, if you're running a demo call, if you're running, a free call of any sort, a free consultation, free strategy session, free game plan session, whatever it is, make sure you've got a process for that. You don't have to wing each one of these calls. And I say that from experience. That is one thing that I did have ready for this. It's what I install for large, 8-figure coaching programs as a sales process. So you can bet that I have one lined up, ready for my calls. So that's it. That's 5 steps that we've got. Step 1, make a Godfather offer. Step 2, write a compelling sales letter. Step 3, create a master list of lists. Step 4, coordinate your launch and get support for it in advance. And step 5, be prepared to sell. Prepare yourself and your calendar to sell. Cool. That's all I got for Tactical Tuesday.